How's it going? Big yawn. Tribunal. This is my favorite deck in the game to play. Has been ever since it came out. And well, I guess whenever I picked them up, I had to pick them up immediately. But this deck has been my bread and butter comfort food deck to go always fall back on, to climb with, depending on the meta and what's going on. And I wanted to make a longer form video for you guys and just talking about Tribunal. Whether you're a brand new Tribunal player trying to learn how to play the deck and the different things to do with it, because it can be pretty complex and you can get really creative with it. Or if you're a veteran trying to get better or whatever, stick around. I'm sure you know most of this stuff, but this is mainly for like the new and intermediate players. I love to learn stuff from some of the other Tribunal veterans, so drop a comment down of what your favorite playstyle is that I did not talk about. We're going to go along in the deck. You're going to see some gameplay in the background, and we're just going to sit down, chill, talk shop about Tribunal, the living Tribunal. Now, you might be saying, why is Howard the Duck in your Tribunal deck? He's a waste of a spot. Kick him out. He's garbage. No. He is probably one of the best cards in this deck, in my opinion. So maybe it's wrong, but I think it's right. Obviously, Howard the Duck is amazing because I'm going to talk about these two cards later. But if you're running the Iron Lad or Jubilee package, please put Howard in your deck if you have him, because it is so important to know what you're drawing next and whether you Jubilee that or Iron Lad that, whether you get a one copy in one card space, or pulling something for another. Like, that's two spaces instead of one, right? And one of the main reasons why I wanted to make this deck, because a lot of Tribunal players, and what I see, like the biggest mistake ever, and pull out your notepads for this one, board space is your friend. You need to get better at playing around board space in a Tribunal deck, like a chess game, basically. So you have 3 lanes, random locations, and a random opponent. You're both dealing with the 3 locations. You need to basically do this, okay? Or this is what I do, okay? But this is how I do board space with Tribunal decks, okay? Check it. You have 2 lanes, 3 lanes. 2 lanes, I always save for junk lanes. Those are the shit lanes. I don't want anything to do with them. I don't care what happens in those lanes at all, because we're going to reach them with power later in the game. I don't give a fuck, right? That's number 1. I guess 2, because 2 lanes. Your 3rd lane is going to be your powerhouse lane, and you can do a lot of things with that lane. You need to keep that lane clear and ready to go, because that's going to be your main powerhouse. That being said, there's a couple different ways that you can play. There's a lot of different ways that you can play like that. But basically, if you're playing like that, Howard, Ravona, Magic, Cosmo, sometimes Super Scroll, Iron Lad, Jubilee, but it's mainly like the lowest curve of your deck. Everything after Cosmo, everything before Cosmo can be put into those lanes, and just have it be like the junk lane. You need to change the location because it's a negative location and set your cards. Great, Magic it. Dream Dimension, I think. No, it's not Dream Dimension. It's the one that makes things cost more on turn 5. Get that out of here. We don't want that, right? Magic that. But you need to adjust your shit lanes and just figure out on turns 1, 2, or 3 where your lane is going to be. Usually that's going to be empty until turn 4 and onwards, right? If you need to play defensive because you think that they have a Enchantress, Cosmo is going to be the more defensive side. You won't be able to Mystique the Onslaught to get the double, quadruple Tribunal math power, right? But you'll still probably be able to get at least 72 plus power in all lanes. And that's nothing to scoff at, dude. That'll just win you games, right? So there's that. So there's the defensive with Cosmo in your powerhouse lane, or just raw dog that bitch, bro. So you could do a bunch of different stuff. I'll rapidly kind of go down the Tribunal cards in this deck. We can talk more about them. Ravona discounts your Mystique, Jubilee, and Iron Man. Enough said. Okay, Mystique. You need to save this card, obviously, because you can't really tempo it. If you're playing Temple Mystique, Okay, Savior Mystique. So Mystique is the powerhouse to this deck as well as Onslaught is. Okay, if you didn't know, the combo, I'll put the combo right now. Okay, I'll show it. You make sure that you put either your Iron Man down on 5 or whenever Iron Man, and he's all in the same lane. Iron Man, Onslaught, Mystique, the Onslaught. So you have 2 Onslaughts in one lane, and then you play a big power card like Tribunal, or maybe an Iron Lad's already there that copied your Iron Man or Onslaught again. So you just have, Tribunal power, crazy power, right? But that's the main lane that you want with this deck, right? Great. All right, Magic. You need to turn 7 most of the time, because Sarah on 5 ain't gonna do shit if you're just dropping an Onslaught. That's it. Like you kind of need to turn 7. That being said, Cosmo can protect Limbo from things like Scarlet Witch. Nico, the only things that you need to be careful of is a lot of things. Legion, if you think they have Legion, a lot of RSM decks are running Legion right now. Or they were. I'll have to double check that. But watch out for Legion. All that stuff. Rhino, but Cosmo can stop that. But who's playing Rhino? Except for RSM, I guess. Anyway. Cosmo we talked about. Jubilee we talked about. Iron Lad we talked about. Super Scroll. Okay, so Super Scroll, I think, is probably the most important card in the deck besides Howard the Duck. Not talking power outputs like your top end. Talking like just versatility and all that stuff. Scroll is probably your savior in this deck. I am so sad about seeing, or when I see Tribunal players, they just don't have Scroll, or people in general are just cutting scrolls from like ongoing. Like I just cruised to Infinite like last season with Gilgamesh. Was it last season? Because I had Scroll in my deck because everyone else was playing Zoo. And Scroll just took wiped that lane was just done, and they don't run Enchantress or all that stuff. So I mean, Scroll's holding his own on it basically. And in Tribunal mirror matches, he is absolutely needed so you can hold your own against that. Otherwise, if they have the Scroll, you're kind of done, dude. You're just giving them free power. Darkhawk decks. I won a game recently where Tribunal, Onslaught, Iron Man, all discarded from my deck because they were playing a Darkhawk discard with stature, Black Bolt kind of things, and I should have left, but I didn't because they dropped their Darkhawk on turn 5, and I had so much discount on the board where I just played Scroll, Mystique, and basically just won the game. Things can happen, all that stuff, whatever. Scroll, the GOAT of this deck. Iron Man we talked about. Obviously, goes to say, if you put your Iron Man or Onslaught Mystique in one lane and Iron Man's not there, I mean, that's a retreat. Like, you need to have Iron Man down. So technically, although Onslaught and Mystique are the engines to this, or like the catalysts of this deck, you might say, Iron Man is the engine of this deck. Iron Man and Tribunal are like your rock solid, like you need those in this deck, right? Iron Man doubles, you get it. Sarah can be really interesting because you can Mystique your Sarah. It's not favorable, but you can do it. You can put Sarah down on 5, Onslaught on 6. So maybe your 4th card in your big power lane is a Sarah. So you do Sarah, Onslaught, Mystique the Onslaught, and then Iron Man down. Or if you already had Iron Man there, that lane's full. Play Tribunal somewhere else. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. But Sarah on an Onslaught is a little, it's a little crazy. I've played Sarah on Onslaught on a Sarah, and you would be very surprised on how many retreats like that. Like, next, I'm done. Like, I can't do anything about that. Just kind of like how you see a bunch of like Lokis on turn 2 with Arsham decks. Kind of like, yeah, I think I might be done. Sarah and Onslaught on a Sarah is like, it's, when you're cooked, right? And these two are crazy together. Tribunal. Okay, yep. He spreads power, and this is all for Tribunal. So that is the deck. Really good Tribunal players will be very creative, like I said, on like the ways that they win. It's not a brainless deck. Like most people would agree or argue that Hela is a little brain dead, which I enjoy Hela. And it's more brain dead than this for sure. But you still got to think in that deck. It's like any deck, I guess. Tribunal, it's like chess a lot of the times because there's so many obstacles. You're either playing around your enemy or opponent, or you're not, and you're just playing around locations. And this deck is very fun to play because it makes you think. Anyway, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. If you have any questions, I will try to answer all the questions. If you have any cool play lines, I'd love to hear it from any of the Tribunal vets out there. Appreciate your service. Thank you guys so much for watching. Share this video if you need your friend to get better at Tribunal because he sucks, or if has some questions. Yeah, I know it can feel complicated, but it's really just that, combo. And then Tribunal mirror matches. Make sure that your scroll is in your onslaught lane. I think that's kind of it. It's like card placement, I believe, is the mirror match key. Iron Man, onslaught, scroll, Tribunal. Maybe a mistake. I don't know. The scroll is anyway. We'll talk more. I'll answer some of the questions down there. Appreciate all of you guys. I'm gonna go edit this video. It's taken me 4 times to record this. There's audio issues, and I am also an idiot. But yeah, thank you guys so much. I will see you guys next time.